Hello one and all, welcome back to my series of reviews where I talk about Star Wars. Star Wars throughout all of them, except for one movie because I lack the motivation to go out and buy the movie, and also to review the movie because I cannot be bothered. That is Solo a Star Wars story, y'all. Not happening. So today we're talking about Rogue One, a Star Wars story. The only Star Wars story, the only spin-off movie that I'm actually, or prequel movie slash spin-off movie that I'm actually going to talk about. Because the other one I don't care about. So this movie stars Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso, whose father, Galen Erso, is literally the guy who came up with the idea, or the blueprints, so to speak, of the Death Star. And this movie is literally the opening scroll of the first movie, the original Star Wars movie ever made. The opening scroll of A New Hope. Star Wars Episode 4, whatever. The original Star Wars movie. So this movie stars a bunch of different people, all rebels, rogues, whatever, and they're all trying to get the plans and figure out how to destroy the Death Star, while that's actually pretty much it. So basically, it starts off on. It starts off on a planet where Jyn is actually a kid. They're on a planet, and Galen Erso is just like, I'm not doing the Empire anymore. The Empire's their own thing. I'm my own thing. Whatever. We're in hiding. They're never gonna find us, but they totally do. So what I liked about this movie, I love the action in this movie. The action is brilliant in this movie. It is actually really well. It's so energetic. It's so passionate. It just feels so good, so real. Like in when they're on the planet, I can't remember what the planet was called, but they're on a planet. It gets blown up, and Saw Gerrera's there. And Jyn Erso is just like, she pulls out that little stuff and she's just whacking at people. It looks so real. It looks great. Another great part about this movie are the visuals. The visuals in this movie are amazing. The opening shot with the Death Star, where the shadow just beams away from it and it just reveals the Death Star. It's like that. It's gorgeous. It was physically amazing. It just looks so great, and the moments where planets are being destroyed, like by the Death Star, like the one city that Saw Gerrera was on, the whole sequence where the place is just being destroyed, like slowly being destroyed. Because that's how really large things work. It's just like, it looks slow, but it's coming. No matter what, it's coming. You're fucked. And it just looks so real. It was great. Another thing I love about this movie are the characters. The characters are just so great. It also shows a different side of the Resistance that we've never really seen before. Never, not in the original trilogy, or anything else that I've seen, at least. Like, if it's in Star Wars Rebels and all that stuff, I haven't seen that. But in this movie, it shows that the Resistance would have had to make some really dark calls, or some really bad choices that would affect them. But they still have to make those choices. Like, in the beginning, there's this guy who's like, I'm not getting out of here, and the main dude, I can't remember what his character's name is, but the main dude, he just like, yeah, it's fine, and he just starts to run, and he just leaves the guy to die. Well, he killed the guy. He's dead, and obviously he makes it out of there because he's in the rest of the movie, but. It just shows that those kinds of choices that would have had to have been made in this series, and it's just it's nice to see, because because even if we've never seen it, we should have presumed at least that it would have been, that stuff like that would have gone down, because dark times call for dark measures. But there are things that I don't like in this movie. One of those things is that, like, mind twisting scripted. Like that was very Disney of them. Like if they had seriously, if they had taken that thing out of the movie entirely, it probably wouldn't have changed much. Actually, it wouldn't have, because the pilot that they're looking for, who has the message for Jyn Erso, or for Galen Erso, from Galen Erso to Saul Guerrero, that's actually to Felicity Jones's character, Jyn Erso. The guy loses his mind, but in the end, he still has his mind. Like he gets his mind back. He just gets onto the ship and all is right with the world, and he's fine. It's like, well, why was that memory squid, or whatever the fuck it was, in there at all? What was the point, really? There are other things that are kind of odd in this movie. I will say that the story can be a bit choppy at first. Like when you open when we first meet Felicity Jones, like herself, the actress in the movie, it's like 15 years after the previous scene, which was when she was a kid, and it's just like it's just jumped from the start to here. It's like that is an entire section of her life that we have no idea what happened. Like we get filled in the blanks, like kind of very briefly when she meets Saul Guerrero. It's like, you left me, and it's like, well, we could have seen that and probably been more attached to when you said that, but whatever. It's just small little details that just make it so kind of wrong. It just makes it less interesting, because when you hear about a character being like, you left me, and it'd be like, well, okay, cool. But that's really the setup for this movie is really, really different. I mean, it just sets up all the characters in a very rushed sort of way. Like like the pilot just lands on the thing. He's like, I'm the pilot. I'm the pilot. It's like, well, yeah, you're the pilot. Okay, we know you're the pilot now. I mean, the kind of nitpicks, really. It's just like just things that happen. Other things that are in this movie that are just straight up badass. It's like when we meet Darth Vader. Like, Darth Vader's in this movie very sparingly, but man, he's in this movie and he is here for fucking blood. Whew. The first scene he's in, he's not really doing anything, and he's just standing around. He's talking to director Krennic, who is played brilliantly by Ben Mendelsohn. Ben Mendelsohn is one of those actors who's in a really shitty movie, or who can be in a really shitty movie, and just elevates it so much that it's just like, but Ben Mendelsohn, he was great though. But when he's talking to Darth Vader, it is straight up Darth Vader. Like, everything about his outfit is straight up original Darth Vader. Like, original, like from the original movie, from Star Wars, like Star Wars. Like, if you're a fan of if you're a fan of the original trilogy and you know what I'm talking about, it's like where Darth Vader turns up. In the first movie, Darth Vader had like the stripes over his suit outfit, because because of budget, they didn't have the ability to make it look, or like the budget to make it look more authentic like it does in Empire Strikes Back, where the stripes are now under his thing. And in the original, the eyes are just sort of red-ish, and in this movie, it is the exact same. Granted, this movie is literally 5 minutes before the next movie. Literally 5 minutes. You finish this movie, you put in the original movie, you're still on the same story. Then you put in Empire Strikes Back, you're still on the same story. You put in Return of the Jedi, you're still in the same story. Well, the story that that changes throughout. There are different things that happen in the story, but Oh man, seeing Darth Vader in this movie was just straight up awesome. There was kind of like a non Darth Vader moment where he just sort of where Krennic is just like, so I'm still in charge, and then Darth Vader's just like, be careful not to choke on your aspiration, director. And it was like Vader just cracked a. Vader doesn't really do puns. Alright, we'll accept that. You better make that up to us. And by fucking God, they do. Holy fuck. The closing scene of this movie. Oh man. Like they've got like everyone else is dead. Everyone else is dead. Like Felicity Jones and her crew, they were on the planet. They're getting the plans up to the Resistance. They got it up to the Resistance, but they're dead. Like the Death Star's just popped out and just dead, wiped out. And there was a theory that I guess a lot of people had, including me, where Felicity Jones's character was Rey's mother, or at least they were Rey's parents. And that didn't really make sense considering where it is chronologically, but that would have been if they like survived and they got away with it, and they would have been Rey's parents. Could have been that, not that, but you know, whatever. Still a great ending though. But then when the plans are on the thing, this guy like the Resistance, they've got the plans and they're just running. They're just like, shit, they're coming. And then this doorway just opens, just sort of a crack, and then the lights go out, and it's just like, and then you just hear it. And then you just like, yes. You can't see him at all, but you know he is straight up right there. He's in that room. And uses his lightsaber. Just, sees him in the darkness. It's like, yes. And then everybody's like, open fire! And he's just like, nope, fuck you. And he's just deflecting, just, and then he just shoots the blaster back at them, holds a guy up on the ceiling, slashes him, and then just starts massacring them all. It is like, this is just Darth Vader. This is what the prequels were setting up. This is the man who just wrecks shit. He is somebody to be feared. And by God, he was. And the last scene with Darth Vader, like the very last shot with him, and he's just staring into space, and he's like, they're fucked. Oh, like, he didn't say that, but it's like, oh yeah, Darth Vader. Whoo! That's another high that I haven't felt in a long time. Woo! Oh man, it was such a good scene. It was such a great scene. It was like that is just straight up Darth Vader. We never saw that in the original trilogy. Like Darth Vader had his moments of conflict, but they were never really just straight up Darth Vader. It was just Darth Vader being as low key as possible, because he was either toying with his opponent Luke, or it was his son, and he's just like, he's not trying to kill him. Return of the Jedi. Or it's just back where they didn't really have the technology, or the two actors that were playing it were just a little too old to make it that intense. But I love the original trilogy. I love the first movie. I love the third movie. I love all the Star Wars movies for what they are. There are times where I'm just like, where I can sit back and just be like, that is just straight up lazy writing. But in the end, it's a Star Wars movie, and I enjoy them. And you can kill me if you wish, but that's me. Anyway, I will rate this movie, and I will say that this movie is worth watching with most of your attention. It does lose your attention at a point, like you'll probably be like sleeping through some of the movie, or you would just be sitting on your phone, just being like, yeah, all right, oh, action sequence, and then it'll just lock you in. You will be entertained by this movie. You will love this movie. If you're a Star Wars fan, you'll probably love this movie. If you might like this movie. If you're a prequel fan, you might like this movie. If you're an original fan, you might like this movie. Or if you're a new Star Wars fan, You might like this movie. If you don't like Star Wars at all, you won't like this movie at all. But if you're a Star Wars fan in any certain degree, you will like this movie to some degree. Best I can phrase it. Anyway, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, please click the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Throw a comment down there. How about I ask a question? What's your favorite Star Wars movie or favorite Star Wars moment? Put it down in the comments section and let me know.